All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Amy Mitchell with Houses of Windsor, and this is Virtual Tea Time with Amy. Today, my special guest, I guess my hands should go this way, is Janet Fernandez. Janet, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I've got, so before we get started, we'll share what we're drinking. So today I've got my favorite teacup that I've had forever, and I'm actually just drinking a basic black tea. I think it's Yorkshire makes it, but yeah, so that's all I've got to share for today. And Janet, what are you drinking with us today?
I have something called Ningxia Red. It's a high antioxidant drink, so perfect for these times right now when you're going through a lot of stress and everything else. Kind of
Right.
keeps you in balance and helps your immune system at the same time.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess that's yeah, kind of necessary right now.
Yeah,
any bit helps.
that's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, so Janet, let's see. I want to start off with, so I'd like to say, who is in your house? So let me know. So who are you at home with?
Ooh, I'm home with the wonderful husband and my 18-year-old soon-to-be graduate of high school, my almost 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son, and then my 7-month-old baby girl.
Oh my goodness.
Full house.
Such a full house. And how are things going with the 7-month-old in the mix about while you're trying to do the schooling and everything else?
It's pretty interesting. I'm glad that the husband is home to be able to help, but at the same time, it's bittersweet because, of course, he's not able to work. That's why he's home right now.
Right.
But you know, it does help to have him here. We're working it out
Right.
as best as we can, basically.
Well, that's really good. So yeah, for those of you who don't already know, for me, I have one daughter, so that's who's in my house, and 2 cats. So the daughter is between my house and her dad's house, but the 2 cats are here full time. So you may see them run in the background at some point. But yeah, so okay, so Janet, I know you through your husband Xavier because he is in my BNI chapter, and yeah, was kind enough to introduce us. So thank you for coming on here. And so I like to ask, what is it that you do, Janet?
Well, I'm an office manager over at a chiropractic office, so that is my full-time job. And then I also am with Young Living as a distributor for them.
Okay.
And I've been with them for 6 years now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's pretty busy life, but
yeah.
I enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, busy life. And yeah, in total of how many kids was that again?
4 kids.
4 kids. Okay, thanks. I was like, are we 4 or 5? I lost track.
Yeah. Well, if you include the husband, it's 5.
Yeah, it's 5. 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, yeah, so I would like to ask, I'm trying to, keep it fun and just something different for people to watch. So what is something that is an interest of yours or like a hobby or an obsession, something that's like uniquely yours that kind of like people know you for?
Well, I'm really big into gardening. I got into it a few years ago and just my brain goes really, really far out with it. I like to investigate different plants, so things that normally people find to be weeds and they would pull or even use something to kill it off.
Yeah.
I go and I research it, and I
cool.
tend to find majority of the time it's something that you can actually eat.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you can eat it, and it has pretty much the same type of nutrition that maybe like spinach or broccoli, things that you would normally find in the supermarket have, or it has medicinal values. So that's been pretty fun to do, especially during this time now that you're locked at home.
Right. That's really cool. So are you primarily gardening like vegetables, like produce, stuff you eat, or do you like doing flowers and stuff too?
I like doing some flowers. Right now I am focusing more on the vegetables and fruits and, you know, anything else, herbs that I can use for cooking.
And so did you have anyone like growing up that was also into that, or is just something randomly you stumbled upon that you like doing?
So I grew up in Brooklyn, so we couldn't really do a lot of that stuff. And then we moved to the suburbs when I was a teenager. But my mom liked a lot of gardening with flowers. When I was really, really young, I was maybe 2-3 years old, we had moved to Puerto Rico, and there is where we have a lot of ranch land and things like that. People grow their own stuff. So I always found a fascination within that. Once I was able to move on my own and kind of went to school for massage therapy with my husband, we learned a lot about nutrition, and that really piqued my interest even more so. So now that I have my own place, I figured, why not? I might as well just start taking care of me and my family and doing things more organic. Yeah. And this was the best way to do it.
That's awesome. So do you have any tips for people, especially who are Floridians watching, since you're gardening in Florida? I forgot to ask. I usually tell people, I ask them to say where you're calling from. You're in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Central Florida.
Right, Central Florida. So for Central Floridians watching who may be interested in getting into gardening, what would you say would be the best, like easiest, you know, kind of first steps, or what to look out for if you're a beginner gardener?
A lot of things is people are afraid because we have such sandy soil here. That is the best type of soil to have in Florida. Really? Yes, believe it or not, it drains easier, so you don't get a lot of what's called waterlogging for your plants. So the water tends to seep through really quickly. The roots get what they need. The heat that it maintains is actually really good. But in order to maintain your plants to stay a little bit more hydrated, a lot of mulch. And not your store-bought mulch that has the red and the black coloring on it. Just get yourself one of these companies that's cutting down trees and have them drop all of those chipped trees over on your yard and use that. That's really beneficial for them.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good tip. I didn't know that. And is that easier or more cost effective? Like if you're asking the people who are cutting down trees and have chips to get rid of, or do they still charge the same as regular mulch?
It's majority of the time free.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. So very cost efficient. You can give them about $20 or $40 as a tip. They always appreciate that. And you have a full truck of chips.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool. So how long did you say you've been doing this for?
We started, let's see, we've been living in the house now for 3 years. We started about 2 years ago. So, and then this year we decided to really just take it up a notch and start putting a lot of the trees into the ground and adding a variety of things into the yard.
That's cool. Do you have any like Floridian like type fruit stuff or anything? Like what, citrus?
I have a Florida peach tree, which I didn't know peaches grew in Florida, but this specific one, I guess, was it's a hybrid, I'm assuming, that they've created so that it actually flourishes here in Florida with the Florida heat. I have limes, I have lemons, mulberries.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I've actually acquired a lot of fruit trees from Puerto Rico because you're able to bring some certain things over here, and since over there is tropical.
Right, that's neat. Oh, whoops. You froze up a little bit. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. You froze up for a little bit, but I heard you say you were importing trees, right?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, yeah. I bring back, or my mom, when she's gone to Puerto Rico, she's brought back little pieces of like trees that she's cut up one of the branches, and that we've been able to reroot and
Oh, that's so cool.
They flourish here.
That's
Yeah.
really, really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not a outdoorsy, gardening person. I'm in an apartment now, but even when I was in a house, the joke was like we had like a screened-in pool and then a little bit of grass on the side, and I was like, I'll go outside within the screen. I don't need to go like outside, fully outside. But and I'm originally from Indiana, and my mom, who will be watching this at some point because we got her signed up on Facebook so she could watch, what her kids are doing. Hi, Mom. um, she's a big gardener, so she's more about flowers and things. I think she has grown, I don't know, potatoes and different things like for fun, but usually she's all about her flowers. And my sister-in-law actually and brother, hey Jeff and Candace, they have a farm that they started in Indiana a few years ago called Earth Candy Acres, which I think is like the cutest name. And they have a lot of like fruits and vegetables and sell them at farmers markets and things. But my mom loves to go out there and help work on the farm. So we're very different, because for me, I went out and like picked beans for like 1 hour one time when I was visiting. It's like, I hate this so much. So, but my mom and my sister-in-law absolutely love working on the farm. I'm more of a farmhouse girl. I keep the kitchen running.
Yeah.
I'll wash it after you pick it. But yeah, so that's my experience with gardening.
It is it depends on the person. It's not intended for everybody, but it's I tend to think about it, and I've been teaching my kids that you are able to enjoy the fruits of your own labor.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them help me out with the gardening stuff. And then when they see everything growing and they're able to pick it and they taste the difference of it, they absolutely enjoy it. So every day they're coming out and they're checking the blackberries to see if there's a blackberry that can pick, or checking the strawberries to see if they're ripe enough.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, we had, well, in Indiana, I don't actually know where all the regions there, but like black raspberries, which are like wild. So we had those like all around the like fence at my parents' house. And so that was always exciting when it was time for those. Of course, my mom picked them all and then made us a pie. I love that. I didn't like picking them because they've got thorns all over them. So you have to like wear long sleeves and long pants in like the heat of the summer so that you don't get scraped up. So yeah, I enjoyed the fruits of my mom's labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was, I'm trying to think if we had any other things that we did. Yeah, I think mainly those were, yeah, like I cared more about the black raspberries was the main thing that we had. Because do they have those in Florida? Do you know? Like,
they have blackberries. They have regular raspberries. There's so many different varieties, though. Yeah. Right now, I have one of the 3 of the blackberries, and they're thornless.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
cool. So they're called travelers blackberries. So they're pretty decent sized blackberries, and they don't have any thorns, so I don't need to worry about the kids. Now, the raspberries do have thorns on them. Okay. Those I told them, you have to be careful with it, but and they live and they learn. If they get poked, then they'll learn not to go in there.
That's awesome. So out of the things that you grow, is there anything that's like more of an advanced level, like stuff that like a beginner shouldn't, like, are berries hard, or citrus trees hard, or like certain types of vegetables? Like which ones take the most work?
The most work, I would say, are the tomatoes.
Okay.
And some of the veggies. So you have to be careful with the heat, of course, with some of the veggies, because you can easily just kill them off within a day. Okay. You need to make sure that you're watering at the right time, and making sure that they're hydrated enough, not overdoing it. The easiest things that I would say is the citrus. Really? Citrus are pretty easy to take care of, as long as you have some water on there and you give them fertilizer maybe once or twice a year, you should be fine. I mean, I've let my Persian lime tree sit in a pot for probably a year, And all I did was give it some water, and you could tell that this thing was just trying its hardest to survive on its own. And I put it into the ground, put a little bit of fertilizer in there, and if you see this thing, it's full of flowers right now, and I'm expecting to have an abundance of limes within the next months. Yeah, so
that's amazing. That's really funny. I would have, yeah, I would have thought that I don't know, for some reason I always think fruit trees seem like they would be difficult, but I guess the citrus are not.
It depends on them. So, you know, some citrus are better than others. I know the orange are having a harder time because there was some sort of disease that came about and
I remember hearing
them
about
all
that.
Yeah, so that is a little bit harder. I haven't really tried to grow any oranges. I did acquire a tree called a brown orange, which is giving me about 3 little oranges this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out. But
are they like brown in color, like the outside, or what is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, you know?
I've never seen it before. Somebody gave it to me, and this is the first year that it's actually producing any type of fruit on it.
Oh my
so
God. That's
we'll
awesome.
see.
That's really good. And so does Xavier help at all? Does he like the gardening?
He does, yeah. And I tell him, I'm like, thank you for putting up with my type of crazy. I had him putting out a post yesterday and tying up my dragon fruit onto the post so that we can have dragon fruit.
I love it. That's so cool. So do you get like, because I think like limes and lemons and stuff, don't they grow like a lot? Like, are you actually able to like use them all before they go bad, or are you just like handing them out to neighbors, or what?
So if I have an abundance of it, yeah, I'll hand it out to the neighbors or to family members. But typically my whole family uses lemons and limes for everything. We use it in cooking. We'll freeze it and, you know, make lemonade or whatever else. Yeah. Normally they're used up pretty quickly. So
that's really cool though. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I guess let's see. I forget which you guys. Do you have pets? Do you have a dog, maybe, or no?
We have a new puppy that we got a few months ago, and then we have 3 cats.
3 cats. Okay. So are you? I think I like to ask people: are you a dog person or a cat person? If you had to choose.
If I had to choose, I would say a dog person more so. Yeah.
So is Xavier the cat person, or who brought the cats? Or the kids?
I brought in the cats, believe it or not.
That's great.
I like animals. I've never really like been picky on it. So I brought in the first cat for my son as a pet. And then I ended up acquiring another cat, which she's completely mine. And the 3rd cat showed up at our doorstep as an itty bitty little thing, trying to get into the house. So we acquired her thinking that we were just going to save her and give her a good home with someone else. So she ended up staying.
Of course.
And then our dog passed away 2 years ago, and I said, I don't want any more animals. We have 3 cats, that's it. And they convinced me to get another dog.
That's hilarious. Yeah, while you have the baby, a newer baby in the house, you also got a puppy.
Yeah, also got a puppy. He's fantastic though. He's really smart, learns really quick, and is
and doesn't like chew stuff up, or like isn't too much of a puppy, or yes?
At times he'll chew on certain things, but he knows, like if you say no to him, he'll stop. And he won't do it again. He's got a lot of energy though.
Okay. Well, I guess at least you've got a lot of kids like play with them and work on the energy.
That is for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I guess, I don't know, do you have any questions for me? Not to put you on the spot. But before we go, if you had anything for me.
Just wanted to see how you were really and how you're holding up with the Houses of Windsor and this whole like having to stay home.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. I feel like I'm now getting used to this new normal, which is like probably by the time we get used to it, we're gonna be back to the old normal. But I
Yeah.
feel like it's you know, it's given me a chance to do more work because I'm not driving around between meetings. Like everything is virtual, so I can kind of be a little bit more efficient with my time. It is, though, of course, the days I have Piper extra exhausting, as most parents know, with kids at home while they're trying to work.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but I've just kind of, obviously, since I normally work in live events, been focusing more on my online store that I have, selling like teas and teacups and things. And yeah, and then it gave me the chance to create this little show, Virtual Tea Time with Amy, which honestly is something I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, of something like starting something either on like YouTube or, but I hadn't quite figured it out. And then once we were all staying at home, I was like, oh, like maybe I can just do like virtual tea times and people won't question it because we're all at home anyway.
Yeah.
They won't think it's weird.
Well, it worked out. It worked out
Yeah.
perfectly then.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So it's working. Yeah, it's working out well. So, yeah, but I thank you so much for your time, Janet. And I'll, you know, we'll say the official goodbye and then I'll stop recording and then I'll see you backstage.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.